Hey there, everybody. It's me, Doppio, again, making two videos in 1 week. I know, the mad lad. And you might actually notice I'm back in my place. I've beaten the mold allegations, and I've cut my hair as well. So the last video was recorded right around the time I got back from CB, but it took me a little bit of a while to like edit it, put it together, get a thumbnail together for it, and then send it out. So that was filmed like I think a month ago at this point. So it's still about a month between videos, but I uploaded the last one a little bit late. Just wanted to say two things before we get to this video. So on the last video, thank you to everyone who watched, commented, liked, everything like that. I really, really appreciate it. And a couple of Marvel community members did respond to it as well. And one in particular, EMP Obama, left a very, very nice comment on the bottom of the video that I pinned, discussing how Frank works in the current meta of Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which is something I definitely glossed over and I didn't really understand the full intricacies of. But it was a really, really cool comment and a great read, so if you're interested at all, please, I implore you to check it out. I also wanted to say thank you to Jason for making the thumbnail. I completely forgot to mention it in the description, but Jason FGC, who is a relatively well-known Skullgirls player, if you watch Mixed Masters at all, you might have seen him before, made a really, really great thumbnail when I asked for it in the Discord that we're in. So it was really, really kind of him, and yeah, I just wanted to let everyone know that was not me making it; it was someone else, and I appreciate Jason for the hard work there, because I just completely forgot to mention it in the description. So as for today's video, we're going to be talking about something that happened when I went to a place in SoCal known as Bar 82. It was my first time there. Great gaming bar. Really, really recommend it if you're looking for like a really cool vibe and you want to play some like old fighting games. And old, like they have pinball, they have a bunch of old stuff too. But it was really, really cool. And the Marvel machine and the Third Strike machine were right next to each other. And I like playing both, as well as ST and a bunch of other games. And when I was playing Marvel, while I was waiting my turn, I was speaking to another gentleman who was next to me, and they were telling me about how they wanted to play Third Strike, but they felt like they couldn't do it. It was way harder than Marvel 2. I don't really feel the same way. I feel like Marvel 2 is generally a little bit more difficult just because of like the way the inputs are, how fast the game is, some of the neutral stuff. But for whatever reason, and I was like, oh, what makes you feel this way? And they told me that it was because of the parry system in Third Strike. How they didn't really know when to parry, despite the fact that they knew how to parry. They knew that they weren't supposed to go for like super hard reads, but they didn't really know where to implement it, right? And what I said to him is actually something that I think is not really commonly said. It's not really commonly highlighted within games that have this kind of parry system. And I wanted to make something that really like broke it down for people who might know how to parry, might understand what its like subtler uses are, but don't really understand like how to implement it into their game plan. You can think of this as like the step 2 of how to parry, and we're gonna go into that right now. Also wanted to say that I don't have access to like a really good training mode in Third Strike. I don't have the Fightcade mods and stuff installed, and I don't really know how to use them. So I thought, firstly, because most of my audience are Skullgirls players, it's the game I know best, and the training mode's really good, and like also kind of wanted to highlight some specific stuff in SG, some specific situations that come up in SG that Big Bang can abuse because the parries work so similarly. So I'm going to be doing this mainly in SG, but I'll highlight some individual setups and stuff that work within Third Strike as well, right? So yeah, let's get right into it. The first example I have here ready to go is we're going to have Beowulf, right, in the corner. He's going to snap me, right? And he'll do either meaty throw or he's going to do a meaty button, right? So the common way in SG to beat this is that you would do like a block with a delay tech, right? Every character can generally do that in this game. So here I inputted tech, as you can see on my controller, and like no throw came out because I was blocking, I was in block stun, I was good, right? But you don't get a punish here, and you have to eat another mix-up, which is pretty dangerous still, right? But Big Ben has the privilege of being able to do a OS here. So if I hit forward and throw at the same time, that gives me a parry into a throw, right? So if I know he's going to do the meaty, I do a parry, the parry hits, and I throw him, and I get a full counter hit punish, right? But what if he tries to meaty throw me, right? Well, I tech the throw, right? The forward throw input, there's a parry at the beginning, right? So as long as I hit forward and then delay my tech, right, I will get the tech if it's a meaty throw, and I will get parry if it is a meaty button, right? This is a very, very, very common situation. Every single time Big Band is on incoming, this is a situation that happens. And as long as you know how to do this, you can smoke basically the most consistent setup that most people do off of incoming situations, right? Now, the opponent can beat this. The Beowulf can go low here. He can do a crouching light kick as I'm falling. And if I'm in the air incoming and I do a parry OS, I'll just get a whiff throw because he's grounded, right? So there's ways to specifically target it to beat it. But if he's doing a snap, and or he's my band is incoming and he's doing a meaty low on the ground, right? I have to fall into that button. So I'm able to input a reversal in the air, like Timpani, right? While he's grounded and not hitting me with a meaty, right? So forcing him not to do a meaty is really, really powerful for band because he has such great reversal options in the air and on the ground, right? So this is a perfect example of something where you don't have to really go for a read. You can just kind of do it. I fucked it up. You can just kind of do it, and it works in most of the situations where you know your opponent only does these two options, right? So that is a very common situation that comes up. And let's look at something that's a little bit more character specific, right? So let's say you're fighting Big Band as Beowulf, right? And Beowulf either snaps you or like your band's incoming against Beowulf, right? A very common incoming situation is Beowulf either does same side medium chair toss. So if I block this chair, it's gonna fall overhead, and Beo is able to do anything he wants to me while I'm falling on the ground. He can go for a throw here. He can go for anything, right? And I have to fear the chair falling down and being a medium or being a overhead, as well as he can do a cross up chair toss, right? So I'm gonna block forward, facing forward. I get hit cross up there, right? So very, very strong 50-50 that it gets against most characters on the roster, right? If he's doing a cross-up or same-side chair, and he gets a layered mix-up after, which is really, really strong. But Big Band gets to do a very, very powerful OS against this, right? It's literally just do a down parry, right? So this is going to be the same side. Oh, fucked it up. Right? So that's same side. And that's cross-up, right? So this works because you can parry projectiles in the air with a down input, right? Just like how you would parry a low with Big Band parry, you can parry projectiles in the air with a down parry. And because you're inputting down, it covers whether you're facing forward or backwards. And lastly, I wanted to highlight a situation that is very common within Third Strike and tends to happen in SG as well, that is maybe the perfect summation of this exact concept, right? So in this example, Beowulf is doing a jump in normal, and in the second recording, he's doing a empty hop throw, right? This is a very, very potent mix-up or it's a pretty strong mix-up within SG, and it is exceptionally common within a game like Third Strike, right? In every Street Fighter game you can think of, there is a situation where a character will either do a jump-in or they'll do a throw on landing, right, to try to bait your anti-air, right? Very, very common kind of situation. And Big Band and every single character in Third Strike can do a very similar OS where, if they're doing the jump-in button, you can do parry into throw. And if they go for the empty hop throw, you get a tech, right? Because you're inputting the parry into a throw, right? And the parry input is just forward, and the throw is forward plus like a glide punch, right? So you get the best of both worlds, right? You get to tech the throw if they do an empty hop throw, and you get to parry the button into a full punish if they do a jump in. What I want to really stress, and what I stressed at the beginning, the first OS that I showed, is not to just spam these willy-nilly. Like, there are answers, there are tangible things that your opponent can do to try to beat them, but if you're someone who's really struggling and wondering, I don't know if I can play this game, I mean, parries are really hard to implement, or I don't know if I can play Big Band, I mean, his parries are such a powerful tool, but I don't really know how to use them, and I don't really go for hard reads like that, you don't have to. There's very many situations that you don't have to make a super duper hard read, where you can hide a parry input in other stuff, and it will significantly improve the defense of your character and the defense of your band and your defense in Third Strike, as well as your offense as well, right? These things really come up, and I think to any beginner band player, I know that for me especially, learning these OSs and these situations really helped level up my band. So I'll be linking below a couple of resources. Firstly, the Bafael video on Third Strike parries, and Sager's video on Big Band's parries, because I think if you want to learn a little bit more, learn a couple more very specific OSs, I think those are very, very good to kind of start looking into and start implementing. They're very powerful. But yeah, as of right now, please feel free to go into matches and try to implement this, try maybe practicing it in the practice tool, and like, let me know what you think. But yeah, that's been all for me. take care, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and play Skullgirls. Hopefully, see you very soon.